Hey guys, it's Obelisk 2001 here, and I'm recording this pretty late at night, but I wanted to do this considering I just watched my friend make a deck profile, so I decided why not make mine on a recent deck that I've assembled. I've gotten quite a few Yu-Gi-Oh cards since Christmas, so I've made a deck that works pretty well. I've won several duels with it so far, and if you guys want to make it, then feel free. But I'm just going to share it with you. So for the start of the deck, I run 3 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragons. Obviously, if I'm running 3 Odd Eyes, then you know what deck is probably is, but it's not as normal as you think it would. It's actually a lot different than what you'd probably expect. 2 Stargazer, 2 Time Gazer, pretty standard, except, yeah, I like running 2 of them instead of 3, because then your deck gets cloggy, and you're probably going to draw either 2 Time Gazers or 2 Stargazers, and that's not a pendulum scale after that, so don't want many of those in there. And 1 Dragon Pulse, 1 Dragon Pit. Normally I'd like to run 2 of these, but currently I don't have 2 Dragon Pulses and 2 Dragon Pits yet, so normally I would like to run 2 of those. Next we have Trump Witch to search out Polymerization, and if I already had Polymerization and I discarded it, I can put it in my Pendulum Scale and Fusion Summon with monsters I currently have. This mat goes away. It's also rare, so that's pretty nice. That's why I put that one in there over the normal one. Performapal Swing Cobra. So what it does is pretty much when a monster I control inflicts battle damage, I can send the card on the top of its deck to the graveyard, of my opponent's deck to the graveyard, which is its pendulum effect, and its normal monster effect, which I don't know why you use it for a monster other than in defense mode, but if you do use it for attack mode, it can attack your opponent directly, and if it attacks, it's changed to defense position at the end of your battle phase. So actually, that's very helpful. Performapal Momon Carpet. Um, I don't know if I mentioned, but this is Performapal Swing Cobra. Um, Performapal Momon Carpet. And unless you have a card in your other pendulum zone, this is going to get destroyed, so make sure you have another one in your pendulum scale before you put that there. And every time you take battle damage, it's halved. So that's very nice if you want to preserve your life points. And also, it has a flip effect as a monster, and when you can target one set card on the field and destroy it, and if it's special summoned, I can change it to face down defense position, which is very helpful. Very, very helpful. So I can destroy cards with it. Performapal King Bear. I really like this card because really useful in cases. Mostly for its monster effect. Its pendulum effect is alright, but once per turn during the end phase, if this card was activated, I can destroy it, and if I do, add 1 level 7 or higher to my hand. That's either in graveyard or face up extra deck. So let's say you use Odd Eyes to Xyz summon rank 7, which I'll show you later. You can sacrifice this when you activate it and get it back from your graveyard, which is really helpful. But with the Xyz monster that I run in this deck, that's rank 7, this is not really necessary for its pendulum effect. But its monster effect, actually, hold on, let me read you its monster effect. It cannot be destroyed by spell trap card effects, so that's helpful. And while it's in face-up attack position, it gains 100 attack points for each Performapal card I control during battle phase only, so it's helpful to deal out more damage. Performapal Silverclaw for no specific reason. I just run it for the rank 4s. Same thing with Skullcrobat Joker, except it does help search out Performapal monsters, Magician monsters, and Odd Eyes monsters whenever I need it. So, that's nice. Performapal Dromarilla. This has saved me many times when I have Odd Eyes out on the field, and let's say my opponent has a 3,000 attack point monster. This monster effect will save you. During either player's battle phase, you can activate this effect and give a monster you control 600 more attack points. That is really helpful because, let's say you have Odd Eyes in the field, and your opponent says, I don't know, for example, Red Dragon Archfiend attacks, and you have this on the field, boom, activate its effect, Odd Eyes gain 600 more attack points, Odd Eyes destroys Red Dragon Archfiend. Simple as that. And also you can normal summon it as a level 4 if you control no other monsters, so that's helpful. Performapal Parrot Trio. This is helpful because I can change its scale to 7 if I control another Odd Eyes Magician or Performapal Pendulum monster in my Pendulum scale, in my other Pendulum zone. And when this card is destroyed by battle, I can special summon one Performapal monster from my deck. That's not a Pendulum monster, but that really doesn't come in handy too much, considering I only have one Performapal monster that's not a Pendulum, and that's Longphone Bull. So pretty much, the Parrot Trio will search out this to go for the rank 4. I only have one rank 4, I only have 4 cards in the extra deck, and yeah. So, and now I do run one Synchro card in the extra deck, so I have 2 tuners, X-Saber Arabellum, and Magna Drago. So that's it for the monster lineup. That's 20 monsters, I believe. So on to the spells. Polymerization for the fusion. Summoner's Art to search out Dragon Pit, because that's your only option. Smile World, because I base this deck off Yuya, so Smile World is one of Yuya's favorite cards, so considering it was given to him from his dad, and that's like one of the only things he has. I'm currently using this deck for roleplay, so that's why Magical Mallet's in here, but normally this would be Burden of the Mighty, because Burden of the Mighty is very helpful, especially for like the Synchron decks and stuff like that, which is the deck profile that I actually watched my friend use, and he hates Burden of the Mighty, obviously for many reasons. Terraforming to search out a field spell that I'll show you later, and also if you already have the field spell on the field and this becomes a dead draw and you have Pendulum Call in your hand, this is an easy discard. Pendulum Shift to switch out the pendulum scales, so you can make a scale 7 be a scale 1, or you can make a scale 8 become a scale 10, but that's not really necessary, but it's very helpful if you're in a tight situation. Scapegoat, just to protect your life points. No other reason you would need it other than that. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, because any good Yu-Gi-Oh player knows Mystical Space Typhoon is one of the most helpful cards in the game. Sky Iris, which is what Terraforming's for. This protects your Pendulum monsters, and you can search out Odd Eyes at will. And finally, Pendulum Call for searching out Time Gazer, Stargazer, Dragon Pit, or Dragon Pulse. That is it for the spell cards. Now we're going on to the traps, starting with Performapal Pinch Helper. What it does, direct attack. One of the opponent's monsters make a direct attack, and I can negate the attack and special summon a Performapal monster from my deck. Its effects are negated, and when an attack is declared involving a monster I control and its opponent's monster, I can send this card to the graveyard. I take no battle damage. This is a continuous trap, so you can keep negating attacks, which is helpful. Draining Shield for the obvious reasons. If there's something too big that I can't kill with 3,100 attack points, then I'm gaining the attack points as life points. Dark Bribe in those situations where your opponent's about to destroy something you don't want to be destroyed, you're like, no, Dark Bribe. Downside, they get to draw a card, but it's well worth it. Punch in the Box, for obvious reasons. For those experienced players, they know why Punch in the Box is here. 2 last-minute cancels, because I do have Performapal monsters here, and they return to your hand, so like if I had Longphone Bull there, he's not a Pendulum monster, so he goes to the graveyard, so I can get him to my hand with last-minute cancel if I draw maybe Silverclaw to exceed someone for the rank 4. Performapal Call, for obvious reasons. People who know this card will understand, and if you don't know it, then Google it. That's all I can tell you is Google it. Pendulum Back, most people probably know what this does if you're running Pendulum monsters, because normally you'll run like 2 or 3 of these, but I only run 1 because that's all I have. All of these cards I pretty much run 1 because that's all I have. And normally I would love to run 3 of this card, but like I said, I only have 1, and it's Pendulum Reborn. So, really helpful in those tight spots. So, deck profile is almost done, and the extra deck is going to be very obvious. Obviously, you're going to want Rune Eyes, because obvious reasons. If you Google it, you see its effects, you'll know why. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, because that's pretty much one of the only Odd Eyes cards that you can use to Synchro Summon, and it's very helpful. Odd Eyes Absolute, again, it's the rank 7 I was talking about earlier that you won't really need King Bear's Pendulum effect for, because it summons Odd Eyes monsters from extra deck and graveyard anyway. And then a card I don't know many of you saw coming or not, but maybe you probably did, since this is based off Yuya's deck. He did have Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon because of Yuto. And if those people that don't know the story behind these cards, or any of them, go watch the Arc 5 anime. It's only season 1's been dubbed in English, but I've been watching the Japanese ones, which only has like 12 episodes left. So I'm almost done with the entire anime, so I pretty much know everything that happens. So that is my Odd Eyes